Peace, family, friends, and loved ones out there. I hope everyone's doing great on this Friday, right? Um, yes, I know some of us is going through something, but just know you're gonna come out stronger, right? There's things in life that's placed in front of us, but it's only placed in front of us so we can become stronger and moving in the direction that we're going, or just from within, right? So don't be weak with your movements, right? Whatever you're going through, um, go through it with power. Go through it with some type of focus, right? Think bigger. Whatever you're working on and the plans that you have for your present moment, think bigger, because if you think bigger, you can allow things to come either at uh, a more mass amount, or you might get something unexpected in which you might be surprised on what that might be. Uh, and with that said, as you think bigger, just know that you're shifting your consciousness, and that's something that we do consistently. So if you're not getting things that you want in this particular present moment, then shift your consciousness, right? Start focusing your thoughts and energy in different directions just to see if you could move this energy into a direction where you can start seeing that those steps that you're taking is bringing about some progress, right? You have to understand that there's a process to get to where you're going. Sometimes we just don't manifest into the instant result. Sometimes we take steps, and that's the process of letting things unfold into where they're going, right? So, knowing that this is a time that a lot of us are being re-woke into our spiritual journey. And so you can call that a spiritual awakening that we're having. And this spiritual awakening that we're having is letting us know that our present self doesn't need any approval. There's no approval that we need from anyone because we're in our own field expressing our own possessions. And so when you're in your own field expressing your own possessions, you understand that you don't need any approval because no one knows what you're about to express, or no one knows what you have from within. And when you share it, or when you express it, there's nothing to be said about what that could mean or what the terms might be, right? But society tries to find ways to tell us who we are and how we should think and where we should be at. But in this case, our conscious knows and tells us where to go, who we are, where we're from. We have that self-intelligence that we could tap into. And a lot of us, if we spend time in silence, we will begin to get these answers and these solutions to our problems, right? We're going to talk a little bit about the energy of April, of mid-April, closing up the month. Today, we're going to be experiencing the Aries new moon. So it's time for renewal, restarts, things come to an end. And not only because of the new moon, but we have a lot of aspects that's having new houses that they're going into, new signs that they're going into. So there's a lot of beginning and ending that's taking place not only over the weekend, but for the rest of the month, right? So we'll talk a little bit about I want to talk first about one of the biggest aspects that we're going to have this month, and that's going to be the Uranus moving to Gemini, right? Uranus moves into Gemini on April 26th. So keep that in mind that this last week that we have Uranus in Taurus, um, there could be an unexpected shift in your life and an unexpected change that you are not prepared for, right? So over the weekend and in the next about 10 days, try to remain as balanced as possible. Definitely push for your goals, because this could be the time that things unexpectedly go your way and you have a breakthrough. So don't underestimate yourself. Remember to think big during these next 10 days as Uranus moves out of one house to go into the next. But also just know that where Uranus is going to, um, the last 80, I think it's an 84-year cycle that before it comes back into the sign. So the last time that it was in Gemini, the United States was building the U.S. highway interstate. So yes, Uranus do bring some type of expansion um, in its times, and this Uranus in Gemini is giving off the energy that there will be high war type energy that we'll be dealing with for the next 7 years. And I say that we're going to be dealing with because not only physically is our country and other countries at war, but from within, our soul and spirit is fighting as well, right? And some of us is not in tune with that fight, that spiritual battle that we're having from within. And some of us are. So it's very important in these years that you really focus from within and try to go through these challenges and struggles that might occur in your life, right? Because these things are here to show the growth that you're here for and to show that your purpose needs to be taken more seriously, right? Because we're all are just kind of choosing and living a life that we might desire, but we're moving into a time where our inner body is telling us where and how to move in life by walking our purpose, by walking towards our purpose. So yeah, there's a lot of energy that Uranus will bring, and one of them is there's new ways of thinking. People will become wiser, and the reason they'll become wiser is because you have to bend things a little bit to get things to move the way you want them to move, right? Everything won't just move accordingly to how you want to move. You might need to bend things around so you could kind of squeeze yourself out of a situation so you can start taking those steps further away from that situation, right? So you got to be very adaptable to blend, right? Yeah, so with Uranus, Uranus is known to be the father of Venus, right? And you should check where Venus is in your chart because Uranus and Venus is working closely together. And by them working together, it's like the father and the daughter working together, and they're trying to put together the best life for both of them to experience this change, right? And that's exactly what, Venus and Uranus is doing. They're setting it up for us to move forward in life and to walk through this change. And that's something that you might need to tap into. I say tap into, focus on, and see what area in life is going to change for you, and what area of life is giving you this energy and support with this shift. I could take a quick look at mine and give you a brief understanding on where things might head for myself, but you have to do the same thing for yourself as well in your chart. So I'll briefly do this if I can get to it. And take a look and see where Uranus. I know that Uranus was in my 4th house, moving into the 5th. So I'm about to take a look at my 5th house and dive into that to see exactly what changes should I be expecting. And as I pull this up 1 second, I will let you know exactly where it is. Okay. We'll look at it right here. So yes, definitely you can pull up your chart, see what house and sign your Uranus is in. So mine's will be Uranus will be moving into my third. Well, it's in my third house, Taurus, right? But then Taurus is the third house is split between Gemini and Taurus. So as Uranus moves into Gemini, it will stay in my third house for the first few years, and then it'll move over to the fourth house. So if I want to know what's going on, or what unexpected changes that can happen in my life, I would go look into the third and the fourth house, and see exactly what I can be expecting, because each house has a certain part of life that you can look towards and look into. The fourth house, off the top of my head, uh, I believe it deals with others. Um, I'll pull it up real quick. Uranus fourth house, just to see exactly. But yeah, you can do the same research and work for yourself to see exactly where that energy is headed towards. Uranus and third house, Gemini. Okay, you can pull that up however you want. You can look at this, find it, kind of go through it, right? So yeah, find where Uranus is going through, and then I'll pull this one up just to see what the third house looks like. So yeah, I pulled something up. You can find stuff online to show you exactly, or at least show you and explain to you what energies might be coming in that area of life for you. And then you can start trying to dissect it and see how to be prepared for it, if anything, right? So, Uranus in the third house, for those who have Uranus in the third house, this is a time for freedom, right? And you can feel that. This is a time, once again, to have no fear that you won't be, to have no fear of judgment, right? It's kind of going back to knowing that the present self doesn't need any approval. Okay? There is potential for misunderstanding and tension to occur, because of the personal settings, and sometimes the individual, to get freedom, they have to isolate themselves, right? And when you isolate yourself, then you kind of take yourself away from the crowd, from the social settings, and that's where things get out of sync and you can be misunderstood, right? So just being adaptable uh, is very important as Uranus comes into your house. For me, in the third house, communication and social interaction is something that I'm working on. You can see that now. But yeah, these things are something that we're going to have to take head on, if it's a challenge or if it's some reward. We have to take it head on and move forward, knowing that for the next several years, Uranus will be in a new house and, moving slowly towards a new way, right? Another aspect that's going to happen this upcoming week is that the sun will be moving into Taurus. So it will be Taurus season. So we'll be getting back into more grounding energy, things of that sort, because Uranus will have your ideas flying, right? Flying everywhere, trying to adjust. But the sun moving into Taurus, that energy will allow you to get some grounding in your ideas. Yeah, just be very aware that you find a way to bring yourself into not only a balance, but you have to center yourself so that your ideas are not just scattered and your energy is not just being passed around from problem to problem, from person to person.